5 trending narratives to keep an eye on for the next crypto bull market. Right now, crypto market is not in a very good state, and as always, people are talking about Bitcoin going to zero and the crypto bubble finally bursting. But in reality, it's just another part of the market cycle. And when the market declines and we don't do so much active trading, we have time to plan and prepare for the next bull run. So today we are going to talk about the market sectors and token categories that have the potential to survive the bear market and stay relevant when crypto starts recovering. And if you're new to crypto and don't know where to start, check out the video about our top 7 crypto exchanges for 2026. And now let's get started. The first major narrative is of course AI. Now it's hard to name an industry that was not affected by the AI trend. And crypto is no different. In 2024, AI-related tokens became the most profitable category on crypto market. For a long time, one of the most trending categories in this sector were AI agents. AI agents are programs that can act autonomously, make decisions, analyze data, and trade with each other. At its peak, in 2024, the total market cap of AI agents in crypto surpassed $10 billion. There are projects of different scope in this subcategory. There are big platforms and ecosystems that allow people to create agents on blockchain and agents to interact with each other, such as the Virtuous Protocol or Fetch AI. There are also single agent tokens, for example Siren, an agent that specializes in trading, or Cerebro, which is focused on content making, and many more tokens. Despite the hype cooling down, the agents will likely stay relevant, or become even more so. In 2025, the experts from the AA16Z venture fund stated that crypto can potentially solve some of AI's biggest challenges. And one of the things mentioned was the inevitable growth of agentic commerce. It's when AI agents become full-fledged economic subjects, with their own crypto wallets and other means to transact with each other. It's even estimated that agentic purchases will likely reach $30 trillion by 2030. Another big narrative that is related to agentic commerce is X402. It's a universal payment standard that, among other things, allows agents to use stablecoins for transactions. We already covered the X402 narrative in a separate video, so definitely go check it out. Of course, the AI sector of the crypto market is not only about AI agents. There are, for example, infrastructure projects, like the Near protocol, which is a blockchain designed for AI. New projects also keep emerging, like Sentient, for example, which aims to create a decentralized AGI. They create an open network of modular AI components, such as AI models, agents, databases, and other tools. The overall trend on AI also affects other sectors of the market, including some of those that we're gonna talk about later. So this is definitely a narrative that we should keep an eye on when looking for trading or investing opportunities. The next big narrative in crypto is RWAs, or tokenized real-world assets. To put it simply, it's when you take a traditional asset and make it into a token on a blockchain. It looks something like this. First, a company, like a crypto project, buys some amount of traditional assets and places them into a regulated storage. Then an equivalent amount of tokens is created. So basically, any RWA token is backed by the underlying asset on a 1-to-1 ratio. It's like a digital certificate for a real asset. Currently, many different things are tokenized in this way, such as securities, commodities, and even real estate. The beauty of RWAs is that they often provide much easier access to many traditional assets. On blockchain, they are traded 24/7 on an open market, easily accessible to most people. Another benefit of tokenization is fractional ownership. If you trade on a crypto exchange, you know that you can buy a fractional amount of a token, like 1/10 of a Bitcoin. RWAs are no different. So this way you can buy an affordable share of an otherwise expensive asset. One example of RWAs is tokenized stocks, including the stocks of many major US companies, which were recently added to some of the top crypto exchanges. By the way, in the pinned comment down below you can find the links to some of the best crypto exchanges. Use them to sign up and get exclusive welcome rewards. Another example of RWAs is the tokens backed by gold, such as PAXG or Tether Gold. Of course, there are not only the RWA tokens themselves, but also projects involved in tokenization, like Ondo Finance. It has its own blockchain built for tokenization. They tokenize yield-generating assets like US treasuries and also issue their own tokenized stocks. Another example is Centrifuge. This protocol focuses on businesses. It allows them to tokenize almost any asset, like invoices, real estate, or royalties, making them easily accessible for investors via DeFi, thus creating an alternative way for businesses to attract investment. There are also crypto infrastructure projects related to RWAs, like Chainlink, which specializes in blockchain oracles. Oracles are an essential part of RWAs. They are a part of a mechanism that ensures that the price of a token follows the price of the underlying asset. The RWA sector and tokenization in general are evidently interest to major institutional players, with companies like BlackRock, who recently launched their tokenized fund. While there are still uncertainties, such as the regulatory aspect, tokenization and RWAs have a potential to become a bridge between traditional and decentralized finance. So this has all the chances to become a long-lasting and quite profitable narrative. Another major category is decentralized physical infrastructure networks, or DePin. They facilitate real, useful infrastructure, like wireless networks or cloud storage. These are open, community-driven networks. Almost anyone can be a participant and a part of a community. Participants share their resources, such as computing power, hard drive space, or even Wi-Fi hotspots, and the network rewards their contribution with its tokens. The main benefits of this model are, first, that it's often cheaper and much faster to build infrastructure this way, and secondly, that they are more resilient because there is no central operator. Blockchain and decentralization also make them more transparent and fair for participants. Projects in this sector build many different things. For example, Helium is a decentralized wireless network where people share hotspots to provide coverage. Another big project is Filecoin, which specializes in decentralized storage. Render Network is focused on decentralized GPU computing for rendering for the purposes of visual artists around the world. And HiveMapper Network collects geospatial data to create real-time street-level maps. There are also many projects in this sector which intersect with AI, like Sentient, which we already mentioned before. Another such project is BitTensor. It's a decentralized marketplace for artificial intelligence, where people provide data, computational power, and AI models, creating a sort of a decentralized AI. One more example of an AI-related project is Grass, which uses its decentralized network to collect data for machine learning. Now, even during market's decline, the DePin sector market cap is around $15 billion, and many believe that it will continue growing, especially at the intersection with AI. The real potential of DePins is in their utility, although not all interesting ideas make sense in practice, so obviously not every project will survive. They also attract people from outside crypto space by financially incentivizing them to contribute unused resources. So, from the point of view of an investor, this sector is not only about hype, there is a real potential for a long-lasting development. Now let's switch from more serious narratives to more speculative ones. And the first one is, Memecoins. In all seriousness, despite Memecoins have seemingly fallen from grace a bit, they are not gone. Whatever anyone might say about Memecoins, they are now an intrinsic part of the crypto market, and a sort of a cultural phenomenon. So we will definitely see more major moves in this sector, but it's even more important to understand the risks. Now, especially with the rise of the platforms that allow almost anyone to create their own meme coin, there are more than ever meme coins that just pump and dump in a single day, or even in a span of few hours. The amount of tokens that were created daily on meme launchpads in 2024 and 2025 is indeed mind-blowing. On the other hand, we can, for example, look at the projects that managed to stay on the market, and we will see that many of them try to go beyond just memes and create something tangible. Tokens like Floki or Shib now have their own ecosystems, with DeFi tools, games, and community services. When it comes to meme coins, the main driving factor is not so much any real utility, but rather a strong community. Successful projects try to incentivize and facilitate cooperation. There are newer projects with a similar attitude, like Memecoin, which calls itself the internet's culture coin. Its community is centered around creating memes and other viral content together. There is also growth potential in tokens tapping into other trending sectors, like AI-related meme coins. Among the most recent ones is DeepSnitch AI, a project with meme coin vibes combined with AI tools for trading. Another meme coin like this is Pippin, which is presented as a sort of an AI influencer that generates content and interacts with people on social media. These projects are still quite fresh though, so we wouldn't recommend trading something like this without proper research. The point is that in a sector such as meme coins, you should look out for projects that try to create something and go beyond simple hype. Of course, trying to catch big pumps is also still an option. After all, meme coins are still largely about speculation, but highly speculative trades require a lot of skill, as well as experience and pitch-perfect risk management. Anyway, meme coins are very much alive and will likely stay around for a good while. So whether you are a seasoned high-frequency trader or a more conservative investor, this sector definitely should be taken into account. And finally, our last trending category – prediction markets. On prediction market platforms, people trade the outcomes of upcoming events. In other words, they essentially bet on whether a specific outcome of an event will be reached or not. This event could be almost anything, like what price will Bitcoin reach this month, or who will receive a prestigious award this year. One of the most popular topics, though, is politics. For example, election outcomes. Actually, prediction markets do not originate in crypto space, but crypto-based platforms are, for the most part, the reason why this is such a big narrative right now. Although we said that trading prediction markets people bet on event outcomes, those platforms have little to do with traditional betting platforms. Technically, they work just like a normal market. Event outcomes function like assets on the exchange. They can be bought or sold at any time while the event is still ongoing. The more people buy an outcome, the higher the price, up to a certain limit, and vice versa. So prediction market prices depend on supply and demand dynamics. Most crypto-based platforms are very similar to decentralized crypto exchanges. One of the biggest crypto-based prediction market platforms is Polymarket. We already talked a lot about it in a separate video. In that video we also explained how prediction markets work in more detail. So if you're interested, go check it out. Currently more projects also come to the forefront. Opinion Trade, for example, recently surpassed the biggest platforms by trading volume. With the surge of prediction markets popularity, some of the big players in crypto space also joined the trend, with platforms like Coinbase also launching their own prediction markets. What's interesting is that while crypto market is in a downtrend, prediction market volumes keep growing, which is not that surprising if you think about it, because hot topics like political events will always attract attention, and many people will enjoy the opportunity to trade those topics. Apart from platforms themselves, there are also projects related to the prediction market sector. Almost every major ranking site has a separate category for tokens related to prediction markets, so you can also browse those to look for promising projects. As for trading the prediction markets themselves, it's a highly speculative and risky endeavor, so if you're not sure that this is for you, check out another video on our channel where we discuss that. So, even currently, prediction markets continue showing steady growth and also attract institutional attention and investment, making this quite a promising narrative for the future. Of course, those are not the only potentially profitable narratives in crypto space, but that's enough for one video. If you think that we missed something important, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and push the bell button, and we hope we'll see you in the next one.